Today, we're gonna talk about the wide, wonderful world of green sauces, that family of vibrant, incredibly versatile herby condiments that exist in cuisines across the globe. But because this is me, we're actually gonna talk a lot about math and science. Okay, so don't get scared. It's not really that mathy, and it's definitely gonna be very herby and delicious. But I wanna talk about ratios, the hidden framework behind so much of what we cook and drink. Yeah, we're gonna start with a cocktail. This includes classics like margaritas, daiquiris, and whiskey sours, all of which share a common formula. That would be 2 parts base spirit to 1 part sour component to 1 part sweet component, a 2 to 1 to 1 ratio. A margarita has tequila, lime, and orange liqueur. Daiquiris mix rum, lime, and sugar. And a whiskey sour combines whiskey, lemon, and sugar. Now you can build on these with additional flavors, but the base foundation is the same. The beauty of knowing this ratio is that once you have it, you can make great tasting drinks without ever looking at a recipe. Ratios are everywhere in the kitchen. There's pie pastry, that's typically a 3 to 2 to 1 ratio of flour, fat, and water. Pound cake, a 1 to 1 to 1 mix of butter, sugar, eggs, and flour. The so-called 1-2-3 cookie dough is 1 part fat, 2 parts sugar, and 3 parts flour. And a classic vinaigrette is a 3 to 1 ratio of oil to vinegar. And then there are green sauces, like Argentine chimichurri, Peru's ají verde, and Yemeni zhoug. They all taste wildly different, but the truth is each relies on the green sauce magic ratio of 4 to 1. That would be 4 parts herby base and 1 part fat by volume. If I wanted to make a cup of sauce, that works out to 2 cups of herbs and a half a cup of fat, plus salt to taste. Let's see the magic ratio in action in some classic green sauces. This chimichurri has 2 cups worth of parsley and cilantro, half a cup of olive oil, and 1 teaspoon of salt. I love this sauce. And the zhoug, which is an awesome finish for egg dishes like shakshuka, takes 2 cups of cilantro, half a cup of olive oil, and a half teaspoon of salt. Just like our cocktails, each one also contains other seasonings to make it distinct. We have dried oregano, garlic, and red wine vinegar in the chimichurri, and hot chilies, garlic, coriander, and cumin for the zhoug. But fundamentally, they're the same formula. Now, all of these recipes are available in the link below or in the ATK app. Obviously, a big part of a green sauce's appeal is that it's super easy to make and incredibly versatile. But what I find so cool about them is that they all deliver on that great balance of freshness, richness, and verve. Let's take a closer look at the sauce components and break down what each is bringing to the mix. First, the herbs. Now, each variety carries its own characteristic scent, but all herbs have green leaf smelling volatile aldehydes, such as hexanol and hexanol. Yeah, those are different things, which provide sort of a baseline herbiness and freshness. There are 2 general classifications of herbs: delicate leafy ones like parsley, cilantro, and basil, and hardy ones like rosemary, thyme, and oregano. When I say delicate and hardy, I'm talking not only about whether their leaves and stems are tender versus sturdy, but also about the strength or volatility of their flavor compounds. In general, volatile flavor compounds in delicate herbs are somewhat less heat stable than those in hardy herbs. Green sauces are typically made with delicate herbs, and they're uncooked to preserve those volatile flavors. Okay, I wanna do a quick little sidebar on herb prep. Now, fresh herbs are obviously incredible, but there's one thing that can ruin the experience of eating them, and that is sandiness and grit. Some herbs are super clean when you buy them at the store, but others come home pretty dirty. There is one key step to washing herbs that I wanna make sure everyone knows. Check it out. After swishing your herbs in water, the dense sand and grit will fall to the bottom. Whether you do this in a large bowl or a salad spinner, the key move is to lift the herbs out of the water rather than pour the water out. Lifting means you leave the grit behind. Pouring just introduces the grit right back to the herbs. It's simple, you may already know it. If not, this one's for you. Okay, let's talk fats. Fats are basically the pleasure center of a sauce, adding richness and flavors of their own. They also help to dissolve and carry the flavors of the herbs, making the whole ensemble taste fuller and more impactful. Fats can be oils like olive oil, but can also be creamy things like mayo. As in any application, salt is critical. It makes other flavors pop and enhances umami and sweetness while suppressing bitterness. And then there are a whole slew of seasonings that add big picture character and make each sauce taste distinct. For example, acids like citrus juice or vinegar are great for adding brightness and tang. Then there are bold, aromatic vegetables like garlic, ginger, and chilies. And what's so cool about these is that they don't just light up your palate. They actually make you feel your food in a totally unique and, well, kind of painful way. The taste experience I'm talking about is called chemesthesis, the chemical stimulation of tactile nerves. Here's what I'm talking about. The burn you feel when you're eating spicy chilies or raw garlic or ginger is due to the chemicals in these foods triggering a special receptor on your tongue called TRPV1. Now, the primary TRPV1 triggering chemical compound in chilies is called capsaicin. Relatively mild chilies like poblanos contain much less capsaicin than fire fireballs like habaneros. In raw garlic, it's the compound called allicin that stings like mad. And in fresh ginger, that warm buzzy feeling is gingerol. Okay, so the point here is that there are so many ways to build on our magic ratio. Let's play the swap game. First up, I've got parsley, olive oil, lemon juice, and salt. Buzz that up and you've got this lovely bright green, super fresh tasting sauce. Now swap the parsley for cilantro and the lemon juice for lime juice. And I'm gonna throw in a little jalapeno for kick. Yum, that is so good too. Now let's swap the cilantro for basil and sorrel, the olive oil for mayo, and lime juice for lemon juice. Let's toss a little garlic in there too. This would be amazing on a BLT. Okay, one more. Let's swap back to parsley and add in a shallot, trade the mayo back for olive oil, and the lemon juice for sherry vinegar. Maybe I'll even add a dash of smoked paprika. This is a winner. Boom, 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 boom. These combos are endless, and you can riff based on the flavors you like or whatever's kicking around in the produce drawer. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the role that green sauces play in cooking and how you can think about using them. In a lot of cuisines, foods are thoroughly cooked to concentrate their flavors and develop depth. Think of the rich sear on a steak, the intense savoriness of a long-cooked tomato sauce, or the sweetness and complexity you get when you slowly cook aromatics for the base of a super stew. Those flavors are fantastic, but we appreciate them even more when there's something to offset that depth. That's where green sauces come in. They swoop in with this bright blast of flavor that just wakes up the whole dish. Let's try it with the classic Argentine combo of steak and chimichurri. The steak is deeply brown and super meaty, and it's balanced perfectly by the vibrant, tangy flavors of the chimichurri. Wow, this is so good. Okay, you have to try this one. Another classic pairing I mentioned earlier is shakshuka with zhug. Shakshuka is full of sweet, smoky flavors from tomatoes, roasted peppers, and earthy spices. And of course, loads of richness from the runny poached egg and feta. A dollop of fiery aromatic zhug is exactly the contrast you want here. Okay, one more, I gotta do one more. And I think this might be one of the most impressive examples of what a green sauce can do in everyday cooking. Here I've got soup au pistou, which is a humble vegetable soup that hails from Provence. This version is made with a simple aromatic broth, some fresh veggies, and white beans and pasta. It's lovely and clean tasting, but on its own, it tastes a little bit lean and sleepy. Now I'm gonna stir in the pistou, and boom, the whole thing just springs to life. It adds bright green color, the basil is so aromatic, and the olive oil, cheese, and anchovies add tons of richness. The sauce is truly the heart of the dish, hence the name. You can find all these recipes in the America's Test Kitchen app or at the links below. So if you ask me, and I'm a little bit biased, this is without a doubt how to eat green sauces.